بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. We are in the month of the Hajj and we are discussing about Hajj and also especially about Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned many stories of different prophets in the Quran and different nations in the Quran. And whoever is mentioned as prophet in the Quran, one thing is very common, all of them they were inviting towards the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, وَإِلَىٰ عَادٍ أَخَاهُمْ هُودًا قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرُهُ. We sent وَإِلَىٰ عَادٍ أَخَاهُمْ to the nation of Ad, their brother عَادٍ أَخَاهُمْ هُودًا قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ, and he invited them towards of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the oneness of Allah. وَإِلَىٰ ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرُهُ. وَإِلَىٰ مَدْيَنَ أَخَاهُمْ شُعَيْبًا قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُم. Different prophets and their nations name mentioned, and the common thing Allah mentioned that they invited them towards the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also some of the prophets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned if there anything else, the sin of their nation was doing something specifically, Allah mentioned those sins in their stories, beside about the inviting them to oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we see the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more focus on the stories of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam on shirk, because his nation was involved more in shirk and they were mushrikeen. And Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he started his struggle from his home, and his father was a idol worshipper, and then his nation was idol worshipper, and he focused more on just in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was one of the great muwahid, that he was inviting them, and because of that invitation, that da'wah, he struggled a lot. He was kicked out from his home, he was kicked out from his city, and the whole his father, his family was against him, his nation was against him, his government was against him. Then we can see many stories Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. But my focus is today about the shirk. Shirk was in them, they were making partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started from his home, the stories from his home, that he invited his father. وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِنَّهُ كَانَ صِدِّيقًا نَبِيًّا إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِ لِمَ تَعْبُدُ مَا لَا يَسْمَعُ وَلَا يُبْصِرُ وَلَا يُغْنِي عَنْكَ شَيْئًا. He mentioned logically, why are you worshipping these idols? They are not giving you any benefit, they are not harming you, you have no benefit, why are you worshipping them? And then also then he invited also his nation as well in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, he says, إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ وَقَوْمِهِ مَا هَذِهِ التَّمَاثِيلُ الَّتِي أَنْتُمْ لَهَا عَاكِفُونَ قَالُوا وَجَدْنَا. And they mentioned the reason. They did not have any answer when Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam asked him, they cannot give you benefit, they cannot harm you, why are you worshipping them? What is the reason? And they gave the reason, قَالُوا وَجَدْنَا آبَاءَنَا لَهَا عَابِدِينَ. We found our fathers, they are doing the same thing, we are following them. Because our forefathers, our fathers were doing the same thing, we are doing the same thing. But my point is today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned over here his special name. Even we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has 99 names. Different names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in different times in the Quran. We say Bismillah, the word of the main name of Allah. No one can use that name. That name is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the word of Allah. And then also some attributes with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik, Ar-Razaq, Al-Qahar. These are the names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used multiple times. And some of the names as human we can say, maybe we can take those names, but those names sometimes we cannot say separately. Like if one has Abdul Rahman, we cannot say Rahman, because Rahman is a special name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If one has Abdullah, If second name, if one is writing second name Allah, no one can write it and no one can call him as Allah, na'udhu billah, because this is the special name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But some names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala share with us, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, even Ar-Rahim is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called this name for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, bil mu'minina ra'ufur rahim. In the end of Surah Tawbah, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was also Ar-Rahim. Bil mu'minina ra'ufur rahim. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used this name for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But Ar-Rahman is a special name. And why is a special name? What is the meaning of Ar-Rahman? What is the meaning? All merciful. Look at this story. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam used this name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ إبراهيم إنه كان صديقا نبيا إذ قال لأبيه يا أبت لم تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا يبصر ولا يغني عنك شيئا يا أبت after that يا أبت لا تعبد الشيطان إن الشيطان كان للرحمن عصيا. He is saying, my dear father, do not worship the shaitan. Why? The shaitan is surely rebellious to the all merciful. Like the name, he did not mention the name of Allah as name over here. He mentioned Ar-Rahman, that Allah is so merciful. You can see shaitan is against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one, the speciality, he is all merciful. And he is against them. And that's why don't be the friend of shaitan. Then he says, أراغب أنت ناليتي يا أبت إني أخاف أن يمسك عذاب من الرحمن فتكون للشيطان وليا. Then again second time Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam used the name, my dear father, I fear lest a punishment from the all merciful should afflict you. It means Allah is so merciful. He is all merciful. He doesn't want to punish anyone, because that is his title, that he is Ar-Rahman. But he cannot accept anyone who make partner with him. Even being all merciful, still he can punish you, and he will punish you because he will continue that. He is all merciful, but in this type of like if you are making partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he cannot accept it. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna shirka la dhulmun azim. The one of the greatest sin is shirk. Inna shirka, and this is great dhulm. Inna shirka la dhulmun azim. And then Allah says, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. Allah can forgive any sin. One is not praying salah, even it is fard. Allah can forgive us, because this is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If one cannot perform Hajj, this is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can forgive us, because if the Hajj is fard, being Hajj fard upon him, but he did not perform it, Allah can forgive him. Any sin if anyone commit, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can forgive him, as long as that is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One can violate, then Allah can forgive him. But what Allah will never ever forgive anyone, that is shirk. Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. Even being all merciful, but he will not forgive this sin. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us from the shirk, from any type of shirk. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us muwahid and give us istiqamah in our entire life. And when we leave this world, and we should sing the kalima of La ilaha illallah, because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man qala la ilaha illallah, or man kana akhirul kalami la ilaha illallah, dakhala al-jannah, kama qala alayhi salatu wasalam, that whoever is saying the last words while he is passing away, la ilaha illallah, it is guaranteed that he will be people of Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among them, inshallah. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء المرسلين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم إنا نسألك تمام العافية. اللهم إنا نسألك دوام العافية. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم ارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وعملا صالحا وشفاء من كل داء. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم أنت السلام منك السلام تباركت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وأصحابه.